Yeah, good day, viewers. Welcome to Ezayola Online English. In this tutorial, we need to talk about two different concepts, adjectival clause and relative clause. It shouldn't be seen, of course, as a strange topic, but then there is something that is needed to be explained, very, very important, so that we bring it to the notice of students and all learners of English language. Now, when we talk about adjectival clause, relative clause, they are synonymously interrelated, but there is a slight difference, and that's what we need to figure out from this teaching. Now, adjectival clauses, if we have an expression like the story you read is real. The story you read is real. And I happen to underline you read. The story you read is real. Now, from the expression, I've chosen to underline you read as a group of words. Then we look at this, we call it adjectival clause. Let us look at another example. The work you did was approved. Now look at this again. The work you did was approved. I have underlined you did as part of the expression. All right, look at the first one. The story you read is real. Number two, that's one. Number two, the work you did was approved. We need to notice something here. The underlying expressions in the first example, sentence example, the story you read, I might decide to do away with this underlying expression you read. If I remove this, go back to read the entire expression, you notice that nothing, absolutely nothing will happen to it meaningfully. That's why we'll have a concept such as the story is real. That's it. You've noticed that the presence of this is not affecting the meaning, neither is it adding anything to the entire expression. The story is real, but the importance of this is that it explains something about the particular story, okay? The particular story that is real, this explains the particular story. It describes, it shows the particular story that is real. That's the function of this, which is an adjectival clause. Now, the story that is real is the one you read, okay? Now, if you look at this, it is describing this. Normally, that's the function of adjectivals. Adjective or adjectivals in sentences, they describe or qualify the nouns or pronouns that they follow. Okay, now the second one says the work was approved. Which work was approved? The one you did. Now this answers the question, which work was approved? The work that was approved was the one you did. Okay, the function of this implies that it is describing the subject, which is the work. Okay, now if you look at these two expressions, what are we to take note of? These underlined ones are adjectival clauses, and their functions normally, they describe their subjects. But in the case of relative clauses actually, they are interrelated, but there is something we must have to mention. Relative clauses, let us look at examples. Number one, I can say the man whose money was stolen, ran to the police. Ran to the police. Now look at this. The man whose money was stolen. Okay? If we say the man ran to the police, does it make sense? Yes, it does. Of course it does. The man ran to the police. Okay, the question comes up, which man ran to the police? The one whose money was stolen. The function of this expression entirely, whose money was stolen, is that it is describing the subject, which is the man, telling us the particular man that ran to the police. Another example, number 2, our teacher who flogs so much was fired. Now look at this also. Our teacher who flogs so much was fired. And I happen to underline who flogs so much. Our teacher was fired. Which of our teachers was fired? The one who flogs so much. At this point, you now describe the particular teacher of ours that was fired. So this is describing the subject, our teacher, all right? The subject of the sentence, which is a noun phrase, is also a noun phrase. These are describing, the two of them are describing their subjects. But the point is that they are relative clauses, okay? Relative clauses because they possess the presence of the relative pronouns. That's the distinguishing difference between the relative clause and the adjectival clause. In relative clauses, you must notice that from where we begin the underscoring, there must be the presence of the relative pronouns. Remember, the relative pronouns are words like who, whose, we have which, we have that, we have whom. All right, I think about 5 of them, they are all here. We have the who, whose, which, that, and whom. These are examples of relative pronouns. So in relative clauses, wherever we notice the situations or the presence of the relative clauses, the particular place where the underscoring must begin must kick off with any of these relative pronouns. That's why we refer to them as relative clauses. We can also call them adjectival clause. But the important thing to take note of is this, from the teaching, this particular one are adjectival clauses, talking about you read, you did, examples of adjectival clauses. It will be wrong to refer to them as relative clauses. But here, you call them adjectival clauses or relative clauses. Students should take note. Thank you very much. If you've really enjoyed what you've watched, kindly subscribe to my channel on Ezayola Online English. We've really got what it takes to equip you proficient enough in English language tutorials. Bye-bye. Thank you.